Good afternoon, everybody. It's Rick Thomas, Mop Sleep Video Services. Okay, guys, this is a part 2 of the video I just posted. And I just wanted to make a video about this on the improvements of exactly what I was talking about. But this is something along the lines which makes things a little bit easier. Okay. All right, guys. You know that on most equipment, a majority of equipment made by Sony, professional and even the earlier stuff, which is like Eiaj and Panasonic. All right, Panasonic, Eiaj, all these older models and equipment, just to show you how much easier this is to actually do. So when you're plugging in all your video output and audio outputs on these like 3-quarter-matic machines, a lot of the older stuff, on the very back you got what's called an Eiaj plug. Okay, so this, I don't know if you can see that plug right there. You can see, and then I plug my, basically all I have to do is plug my conversion plug right into it, which goes directly to my conversion box right here, which I'm able to wire up directly into my audio mixing console, and also the one output goes out to video. Okay, so I'm able to plug in one and done in what's called a breaker box, because you have all the plugs in the back you don't have to deal with. If these are Eiaj compatible, a breaker box makes it much simpler to make your connection, like I did, to the mixer, goes around here and plugs directly into the SDI setup. So, highly recommend, guys, if you're doing a lot of vintage old video and you're dealing with Sony products, 3-quarter-matic, Eiaj, Sony's like that, or even the Eiajs by Panasonic. A lot of older equipment has what they got called an Eiaj plug. That's why they call it Eiaj. It's because of this plug in the very back of the unit. All right, as you can see, it's an 8-pin plug, and basically it plugs into that little block. And if you have a breaker box, if you have a breaker box like the way I make them for video output and audio output, when I make these boxes custom, now I'm able to just go directly from the Eiaj, depending on what the unit is, and saves me a step, so I don't have to sit there and plug all this crap in from the back. It's just much easier to do, to go directly from the Eiaj plug to the box, mixer out to the audio, and mixer taking it out to the front of the main SDI capture. So I got this like snake cable that goes directly into this capture port right here, or the port right here. So Eiaj, guys, when you hear that word Eiaj, reel to reel, or Eiaj, basically it means the plug on the back of the unit. Now, if you take advantage of Eiaj, especially old stuff, and you know what you're doing, or you're an electronics tech like I am, it makes a lot of sense to make these breaker boxes, because these breaker boxes are fantastic. One and done plug. You got your audio and video coming out. You got your audio looping through this mixer, going to the snake, and then you got your video going directly through the snake, right to the SDI capture boxes right here to your recorders. That way you can control your video and your audio using Eiaj plugs, which are on many of these units have them. Almost all these machines have them. Like here's an Eiaj for an example of Sony, right? So if you flip it down, you'll see, there you go, Eiaj plug. So you could plug directly into that and not have to use any of the other plugs. And basically, if you have a breaker box, custom breaker boxes like the ones I make, it saves a step. It's a direct connection. You could actually loop it into the mixer here to get your audio levels coming into this box, so you can level everything off, and then right through the snake, everything's fixed right to the recorders or the computer, right through your SDI. Voila. Simple, easy peasy. This is the reason why I designed this system like this. You want everything to go into SDI. Now this is SDI inputs right here, your audio and your video. So from that point there, everything is being audio. The audio is being corrected. You got your video connected all through Eiaj connectors in the back, right to the front. Simple. But you do have to have these breaker boxes. If you don't understand electronics and how to make these, It's relatively not that hard, but I made like 3 of these for a customer that wanted them because he wanted an easy way of doing it as well. Eiaj stands for Eiaj plug, which is on the back of many of these old pieces of equipment. And basically, once you got that plug, if it's on the equipment you're using, it makes everything easy. All I gotta do is plug it in the breaker box and then split it right off like this, and you're ready to use your audio mixer and everything else, and whew, right to the SDI recording, and you're done. Very, very simple way of setting up equipment, guys. But anyways, I had somebody ask me about that. The Eiaj breaker box. It stands for Eiaj plug, which is basically a plug used on the back of the units. It's like an 8-pin. And you plug into that. I got video output and audio output coming out of the box, and I can make the appropriate connections going directly to the SDI inputs for recording to these recorders, or I could go to this side and do recording directly into the computer for capture. So I hope you enjoy this video.